Hello. My name is Hashim Said. I'm a regional product lead for growth. My role is to help businesses deliver better business results by making marketing a growth engine for their business. Today, I will be joined by my colleagues Ahmed and Paula from other digital studios across the region. But before we get started, here are a few housekeeping notes. First, submit your questions throughout the live stream if something is unclear. We have a product specialist on standby to answer your questions live. 2, have a look at the additional materials provided. And third, please share your feedback with us at the end of the session as we're always looking to improve our content. You can also re-watch this session later on demand and share it with your colleagues. Today, we will cover the following topics. First, we'll discuss the key barriers to media effectiveness. Some of them have been around for decades. Some have become more of an issue in recent years. Then we will focus on 3 key challenges and ways to address them using industry best practices and relevant Google solutions. The first challenge we hear is how do we align marketing budgets and business KPIs? Then the second challenge is how to balance the short-term results with the long-term impact. And the third challenge, how to allocate budget across channels for maximum results. We will then do a recap of these important topics and discuss what you can do differently as of tomorrow. Okay, let's dive in. According to our research, improving marketing effectiveness is a top priority for marketeers. Why haven't we as an industry figured this out yet? Because in the world of digital marketing, this quote rings true. Not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted counts. There are a number of challenges that can hinder the effectiveness of your marketing. Internal misalignment is an evergreen one. The question of how much to invest in brand and performance marketing has also spurred long-term standing debates. In recent years, privacy changes and the proliferation of formats and channels have made measurement more complex for marketeers. We also see that there is an increasing pressure to justify marketing budgets. And over the past year, we've talked a lot about privacy-centric measurement and the benefits of activating your first-party data. So we're not going to cover it today, but for further information on this topic, please consult the resources linked alongside this video. Now, let's discuss the first effectiveness challenge. Let's talk about aligning your marketing KPIs with your business objectives. This is a critical step, but it can be more challenging than anticipated. First, let's define KPIs, or key performance indicators. Sometimes the word metrics and KPIs are used almost interchangeably, but there is a clear distinction. KPIs should focus on something that actually supports your ultimate business goal. They will help you answer the question, did I succeed or fail, and help guide your future decisions that could be revenue, leads, or brand perception. Metrics can help you understand campaign performance in more detail and optimize day-to-day. Metrics can represent micro-conversions like impression, clicks, likes, and open rates. You might be tracking multiple metrics, but try to choose 2 to 3 parameters that closely match your ultimate business goal as your KPIs. And if you're a junior member of the team or an agency partner, talk to the rest of the business to make sure you understand their goals. If you have a senior position, make business goals clear to the rest of your team. Let's look at a few examples. First, you might be a company entering a new market. In this case, you might want to choose brand awareness as your marketing KPI. You can also track reach, brand query growth, and various micro-conversions as your campaign metrics. If your business trying to solidify its position in a premium category, you want to focus on brand perception and average order value. You can also track reach, frequency, ad recall, CPM, CPV, and CPA metrics. However, it might not make sense to optimize for lower CPA or higher reach in this case. Finally, let's imagine you are a lead generation business, focusing on generating higher quality leads. Your KPI can be sales or qualified leads, total sales volume resulting from marketing, but not high volume of leads. With advances in AI, marketing metrics have been transformed and are now way more aligned to business goals. In a way, your goals are your controls. This is how you tell the AI what to do. For example, let's say that your business objective is to drive online sales of pickleball shoes. Previously, you might have said something like, show my products to 18 to 25-year-old women with an interest in pickleball shoes to narrow down your targeting and increase the chances of success. Now you can say, sell my product profitably to whoever is interested in it. Google AI tests audiences, creators, formats, channels, and placements to discover the optimal return on your investment and find new customers, whoever they are. It's transformational. And let's come back to our 3 examples from before and see how Google AI can support you on delivering on those. If you're expanding into new markets, you can use Broad Match to increase your coverage while searches for your specific brand or product might not have a significant volume. Coupled with smart bidding, it will prioritize those who are most likely to become your potential customers. If you're changing your brand perception, consider full funnel activation on YouTube, including big brand formats, as well as always-on mid-funnel campaigns with demand gen. Remember that strong creative and creator partnerships are essential. You can use brand lift YouTube measurement surveys that identify lifts and additional KPIs on a campaign level to measure these changes. Finally, if you're looking to generate more high-quality leads, deploy value-based bidding with a lead scoring model or proxy values for the lead journey. Now, let's discuss how to build internal alignment around marketing goals and budgets. When you have your marketing KPIs defined, it is important that other parts of the organization understand them and support your marketing efforts. According to McKinsey, while 4 out of 5 CEOs see marketing as a growth driver, almost half of CFOs have declined marketing budgets because it didn't demonstrate a clear business case. This sometimes stems from finance and marketing having different incentives, timetables, and risk tolerance. Where marketing thinks in terms of campaigns, engagement metrics, and big, bold creatives, finance focuses on profit margins, cash flows, and delivering healthy results in the current financial year. Marketing budgets are more susceptible to scrutiny due to financial accounting practices. Marketing expenses are considered OPEX and hit the profit and loss statement in the same year. In comparison, expenses like IT or research and development are amortized over a period of time as CapEx and are perceived as investments. And in times of instability, it is much easier for the finance department to slash marketing budgets. But it doesn't always have to be this way. If you build a business case with robust data and educate your finance team on the power of AI-driven marketing, you can change their perceptions. For example, you can demonstrate how your Google Ads campaigns are delivering profitable growth with the power pair of Search and Performance Max. Another argument for continued marketing investment is the ability to set your prices if you have a loyal customer base. Raising prices to protect margins is often the most impactful strategy for CFOs during macroeconomic volatility periods. Last but not least, investors value strong brands. In fact, it is the most frequently cited criterion in analyst appraisals, surpassing even leadership and technological innovation. So if your business is seeking to raise funds, investing in marketing can be a strategic advantage. SMBs often have easier access to their finance teams, but might lack the leeway to invest into marketing experiments or expensive MarTech solutions. As an SMB marketer, you can maximize tangible business results, even with a limited budget, by employing bidding strategies like maximize conversion value. And if you want to learn more about value-based bidding, tune into our bidding bootcamp on the 24th of October. The registration link is attached to this live stream. Now, let's talk about the second common challenge, balancing short-term results with long-term impact. First, I want to talk about balance, or effectiveness and efficiency. Efficiency focuses on minimizing the cost of reaching or engaging your audience. It usually has a short-term time horizon and is often a priority when your business is trying to reduce costs and improve performance. Effectiveness focuses on maximizing the value to your business, be it brand awareness, revenue, or profit. This strategy is more long-term. Marketers need to balance both effectiveness and efficiency KPIs. For instance, the goal might be to maximize sales at a defined ROAS. But how do you define what ROAS is optimal? Response curves can be a useful tool. Let's look at this example. In color bars, you see media spend and the blue line represents sales. If we plot them against each other, we can see that a response curve is starting to take shape. Small spending gets a limited impact, while high spending generates diminishing returns. Response curves illustrate the non-linear correlation between media spend and results. As your spend increases, your profit goes up and then down. So you can estimate the maximum profit point and invest accordingly if profit is your main objective. If you're aiming for expansion, particularly in a startup phase, you can estimate your hurdle rate or minimum acceptable profitability level and choose to spend closer to that point. This approach is somewhat simplistic as it doesn't take into account factors like overlapping media activities, inconsistent ad spending, or lingering advertising impacts. However, it is valuable for grasping the fundamental principles and assessing whether your marketing investments are at an optimal level. As highlighted by a 2022 Nielsen blog post titled, "You really do need to spend money to make money," most advertisers underinvest in their marketing efforts, leaving a lot of potential growth on the table. Google's Performance Planner and other budget tools can help you choose an appropriate level of investment by plotting spend against expected results. And you can modify these settings to explore various outcomes and understand the opportunities in seasonal periods. The tool also allows you to plan up to 18 months ahead. Bid Simulator leverages historical data, allowing advertisers to project the conversion value they could have attained with various return on advertising spend targets. The tables are also available through API. And note that these projections are available to businesses where spend and target settings allow the tool to make these estimates. But more spend is not the only way to drive effectiveness. You can shift the whole curve upwards to get more results or the same level of investment. This can be accomplished by refining your targeting strategy to connect with more receptive audience or enhancing the quality of your creative, capitalizing on seasonal factors or reduced competitive activity, and of course, optimizing your media mix. Some channels can amplify each other, while some might compete for attention, leading to diminishing returns. Now, let me pass over to Ahmet to talk about another balancing act marketers need to perform: optimizing lower funnel and upper funnel investments.
Hi everyone, my name is Ahmet Bash, and I am a researcher at Google's Market Insights team. It is nice to meet you. I want to start with this very strong quote from Peter Grant, the head of media effectiveness at Boots, major health and beauty retailer in the UK. He compares neglecting long-term marketing to neglecting one's long-term health. According to Ecometrics and other Google Commission studies, long-term sales impact that happens within the 5 to 24 months is equivalent or even greater than impact happening immediately in the first 4 months. Focusing solely on short-term ROI can lead to overlooking more than half of your potential media returns. And another Google Commission study that was run by Nielsen showed that long-term impact of the campaigns often overlaps with the current campaign flights. If you ignore these carryover effects, you may misjudge the results of your following campaigns. How big is that impact? According to the same study, the upper funnel activity that drives brand awareness by 1% improves sales by 0.4 in the short term and by 0.6 in the long term. The results for mid-funnel that drive consideration see equal improvements of 0.6% both in the short and long-term sales. This evidence challenges a common misconception that investing in upper funnel marketing only yields long-term results. Interestingly, investments in the lower funnel have also demonstrated long-term effects. Driving purchasing intent by 1% can improve sales by an average of 0.7 in the short term and 0.2 in the long term. This tells us how important it is to move beyond the binary view of measurement towards a more holistic approach. What then is the optimal balance between brand building and performance investments? According to an Ipsos MMA meta-analysis of marketing mix models with more than 125 brands, the maximum ROI is achieved somewhere in between, with about 40% to 50% spend on performance and 50% to 60% brand. However, that would depend on your business. You can decide to start roughly with the 60-40 split and adjust from there as the data comes in. This principle also applies to our own products. According to our latest internal analysis, advertisers who add dimension to their search ads or performance max campaigns see 14% more conversions on average. If you are considering increased investment in brand building, you might be wondering which metrics to track. You can implement a brand tracker that are not specific to any media or campaigns. They would measure awareness, consideration, and favorability on a quarterly or annual basis, providing a long-term view. You can also utilize brand lift studies consistently across all eligible campaigns to understand the baseline performance and optimize results over time. Finally, you can use share of search as a proxy metric. Share of search represents the proportion of organic search queries for your brand compared to all searches for similar brands. You can estimate it yourself using free tools like Google Trends or ask your Google team to assist with the analysis. In the provided example, the share of search metric indicates lower brand strength in Q4. Therefore, increasing brand investment during Q4 is recommended to enhance competitiveness. I like to conclude with another insightful quote, which comes from Anna Jezenska, media director at PepsiCo. Long-term effectiveness is key to building brands that resonate deeply with consumers and foster lasting loyalty. While short-term metrics remain important, a long-term focus is essential for cutting through the noise. Thank you for the attention. I'll now hand over to my colleague, Paula.
Hello from Berlin, everybody. I'm Paola Bozzo, Incrementality Product Lead. I'm going to walk you through the third and final challenge today: how to allocate your media investments across various channels for maximum results. Media effectiveness measurement answers two big questions. Question 1, what is the full impact of my media investments? Question 2, how can I best optimize my media investments? So in the first case, you will measure all your business results, for example, all sales, as well as all media channels, and estimate both the short and long-term impact between them. This will allow you to decide on budget allocation across different channels, to stop certain channel investments, and set target goals per channel. So these decisions are usually made at a higher level of the organization. As a practitioner, you would be more interested in answering the second question to evaluate and optimize your channel with new tactics, formats, and goals. According to the latest Nielsen report, 8 in 10 marketers are confident that they can measure ROI holistically. But only 4 in 10 actually do that. So let's explore this further and discover potential solutions. First, remember that it's important to compare apples to apples. Google's definition of conversion is more conservative than that of some other platforms. To accurately compare your conversion results, you need to add view-through conversions, or VTCs, to your Google results. By default, Google does not include them, unlike other platforms. Another example is paid views that have very different definitions across YouTube and other platforms. Before doing an analysis, research what platform metrics actually stand for. They might have the same names, but could be counted differently. You can find more about platform comparisons in the additional materials. To evaluate the effectiveness of your media mix, we suggest a combination of attribution, marketing mix models, and incrementality experiments. These 3 solutions are complementary in their capacities, benefits, and drawbacks. We will go through them one by one. Let's start with attribution. Modern consumer journeys usually involve multiple touchpoints. Attribution allows us to assess and assign the right amount of credit to each touchpoint on the user journey. It provides fast and granular feedback on which channels and tactics are more likely to contribute to a conversion within a customer journey, which is useful for day-to-day optimizations. However, this view is limited to digital channels and the constraints of your conversion tracking. With privacy changes, the phrase attribution is going away has become popular amongst marketers. A more accurate description would be attribution is evolving to become more privacy-centric and durable. While our ability to record observed conversions may decrease in the coming years, combining modeling and privacy-centric measurement solutions will allow advertisers to continue assigning value to ads touchpoints. Note that Google Ads default to data-driven attribution, while some other platforms default to last click. Keep that in mind when comparing the results across platforms. You should also harmonize the attribution window, or a period within which conversion can be attributed to a touchpoint. Attribution reports like conversion paths, path metrics, and assisted conversions can help understand the journeys your customers take. Model comparisons can help illustrate DDA's effects data-driven attribution. Now, let's talk about marketing mix models. At their core, MMMs are statistical models that analyze historical data on your marketing activities and sales figures. They also take into account external factors that can influence sales, like seasonality, economic conditions, or competitor activities. So by crunching this data, MMMs estimate the impact of each marketing activity on final sales. High-end modern MMMs offer a number of benefits. They provide granular insights by media channels, geographies, and customer segments. They can account for non-marketing efforts using data from CRM, customer satisfaction surveys, and so on. They are adaptive, covering multiple media and sales channels. And they can reveal impacts of market changes in real time. However, MMMs may not be the optimal solution for everyone. MMMs often require several weeks of data, and if your business is relatively new, you may not have enough data to make MMMs worthwhile. However, you can use industry insights as your starting point. Second, you should have an organizational buy-in to implement an MMM. And third, building and interpreting MMMs requires expertise. If you don't have those capabilities in-house, you might use support from an agency. And finally, MMMs are considered to be expensive, although this is changing. Dr. Grace Kite recommends benchmarking the costs of MMMs versus 10% of the media budget. Usually, implementing MMMs adds 10% to the return on investment, often up to 20 or 30%. Hence, if you spend less than 10% of your media budget to build a model, the research usually pays for itself. Here at Google, we have heard that advertisers want a cheaper, transparent, adaptable MMM solution. So we have embarked on a journey to modernize MMMs. Meridian, our open source MMM, is the first step. It is open source. It goes beyond basic MMMs by incorporating innovative features like calibration with incrementality experiments. Last but not least, it is integrated with Google Insights, YouTube reach and frequency, and index Google query volume data on top of other Google data inputs for model building. A number of advertisers are already experimenting with it in a closed beta, and we expect it to be available for all marketers by the end of the year. Now, let's talk about the final part of the effectiveness triangle, incrementality. From all the sales a business measures, some will be driven directly by a media touchpoint and would not have happened otherwise. Those are incremental sales. Some will result from loyal customers, word of mouth, and seasonality, and so on. Those are baseline sales. To separate incremental sales from the baseline, you can use incrementality experiments. Incrementality experiments are the gold standard and the most rigorous method in the media effectiveness measurement toolbox to demonstrate that incremental value of a channel at a specific point in time. This makes them a perfect tool for uncovering new insights to complement your attribution or to enrich, validate, and calibrate your MMM. How do we know that ads drove incremental results? We partition users into a treatment or control group. We then measure the effectiveness of ads on your main KPIs, like sales. We create this partition through one of two methods, geo and user-based. For a user-based split, we create a control group out of the pool of users that would have seen your ad, but instead of showing your ad, we show the next ad in the auction, ghost ad, as we call it. We then track and compare the differences in downstream behaviors of both those that actually saw your ad, the test group, and those that would have but didn't, the control group. For geo-based split, non-overlapping geographic regions are randomly assigned to a control or treatment condition. Those should not overlap. Postal codes or cities can be an option. By separating regions into treatment and control groups, we can attribute any uplift in success metrics between the groups exclusively to the advertising spend. When deciding between a user-based and geo-based study, consider that geo-based studies require higher budgets than user-based. Also, geo-based approach is a bit more complex than user-based. However, geo-based studies are not impacted by measurement gaps. So, if your business is highly impacted by iOS gaps or high unconsented traffic, geo-based would be better. Also, geo-based allows for online and offline data, plus allows testing multiple channels. Be aware of other suboptimal experiment frameworks. Pre-post testing is often hard to distinguish from seasonality or other extrinsic factors. Choosing a handful of cities or states to be included in test and control groups is likely to be affected by selection bias. Another common method is to run a charity ad with a test group. Charity ads are unlikely to win the same set of auctions, and serving will potentially be skewed towards a different audience. When incorporating incrementality experiments to your toolbox, it's essential to consider their rigor comes at a cost. These experiments require time to run and can disrupt your campaigns, as you will need to hold out a portion of your investment. Therefore, the preparation work before you run the experiment is crucial to ensure success. You will need to prioritize which experiments will prove most impactful for your business to avoid disrupting all of your campaigns and muddying the waters. Each experiment should aim to answer a business decision that is relevant enough to warrant design an experiment. The meaning of impactful and relevant may vary depending on your business, so it's up to you to determine what is it. You go to the Google Ads UI, selecting goals, measurement, leave measurement. You can then choose a name for your study, and then select the conversion leaf based on users. Next, you choose which campaigns they want to select. Next, you can select the start and end date for your study. It can be from 7 to 56 days. You will then see the status for your study marked as high, medium, or low. That means the confidence we have for your study to have a strong result based on the campaign selected. You should aim for medium or high. If it's low, consider choosing campaigns that have a higher conversion volume or higher budget. Once the study is completed, you will then get the results in the UI showing incremental conversions, incremental value, and relative conversion lift as metrics. Now, let's see how the launch of a geo-based conversion lift works. As with a user-based study, you go to the Google Ads UI, selecting goals, measurement, leave measurement. You can choose a name for your study and then select the conversion lift based on geos. Next, you choose which campaigns you want to select. For geo-based conversion lift users, can select campaigns from different channels. Next, you can select the start and end date for your study. It can be from 7 to 56 days as well. You can then select the relevant conversions for the study and the conversion value. You will then see the feasibility guidance. This will tell you how likely your experiment is to achieve statistically significant results. It's best to adjust the experiment to achieve high feasibility. Medium will also work. Once the study is completed, you will get the results in the UI, showing incremental conversions, incremental value, and incremental ROAS. There are a number of best practices to run conversion lift studies. First, ensure conversion tracking is set up. Conversion tracked with GTAG or Firebase is firing unconditionally. Choose a conversion action that has enough volume but will be useful to make business decisions afterwards. Use of enhanced conversions is highly recommended for conversion lift based on users. Having strong creative assets is a key part of any marketing strategy. Consumers have more choice than ever before, so you need to stand out from the crowd with high quality and relevant content. Finally, confirm with your Google account team that best practices and recommendations for the format and targeting you're running are implemented. Use value-based bidding and data-driven attribution as well. We talked about DDA, MMMs, and incrementality. These three solutions are complementary in their capabilities, benefits, and drawbacks. Attribution models are fast, easy to scale, and provide detailed, granular insights in real time. But they are typically available only for digital channels and limited to the walled gardens or the platforms they are built in. However, they help you with optimized campaigns day to day. To measure across the platforms, you can use marketing mix models that can also account for external factors, but they are not as granular, often are quite time-consuming, and are just as attribution, are based on correlation and not causality. To definitely prove causality, you should use incrementality experiments, but those are costly to run and difficult to scale. A typical approach might look like this: having an annual marketing mix model, conducting periodic experiments for important decisions and to verify the model, and do continuous optimizations using DDA. Establish a test and learn program. The test and learn program process has a defined learning agenda, a pipeline of hypotheses to test, a suite of measurement solutions to apply to each hypothesis, and a set group of stakeholders who make business decisions based on the outcomes of the test. Let me summarize key takeaways. Align your marketing KPIs with wider business goals. Collaborate with your finance team on data sharing, setting KPIs, evaluation of marketing impact, and budget planning. Make sure you invest in both lower, mid, and upper funnel. Understand what different metrics mean across different platforms. Optimize your effectiveness measurement set up with DDA, incrementality experiments, and MMMs such as Meridian, and reallocate budgets across channels accordingly. Thank you for listening. Please remember to complete our feedback survey so we know whether this was useful and can do more relevant content for you in the future. And don't forget to register for our bidding bootcamp to deep dive into everything value-based bidding. It will take place on 24th of October.